The Inn at the End of Things is an Acorn Arts and Entertainment podcast, independently produced by a small group of creators in Southeast Michigan. Since we run the show ad-free, we rely entirely on support from listeners like you to keep the Inn's hearth fire burning through the night. You can support us and receive bonus content with a one-time donation at www.acornartsandentertainment.com/The Inn, or by joining the Hall of Patrons within our Patreon community. Even the price of a cup of coffee goes a long way to keeping the lights on for our little inn. As folktale enthusiasts instead of academics, this is your friendly reminder that our folk and fairy tales come from the older, grimmer end of the woods, and can contain material not suitable for all audiences, so listener discretion is advised. And recommended for your 5-star stay with us, the inn is best experienced somewhere cozy with a good blanket, rather than while driving or operating heavy equipment. Thanks so much for your support, and welcome. Good evening, pilgrim. The roads have a way of finding their way back to begin again, here at the inn at the end of things. And you couldn't have picked a better night. As you can see, the crossroads have been busier than beehives today, and we have many a weary traveler that's found shelter by our little fire. Here, deep within the long hours, we offer the refuge of perfect rest. And tranquility, it would seem, is a popular request these days. You've added a few miles since we saw you last. Looks like you're in good company, pilgrim. Come on in. Don't just stand in the doorway or letting the cold in with you. That's better. I'll take your things. Or, better yet, Weyland.
Captain?
Can you take these from our guest? Hang those up to dry and make sure the rest goes up to the room. Be quick now, but don't hurry. Hurrying's how things slip through the fingers and down through the cracks, and it can be so difficult sometimes to get them all back. So we won't hurry. We'll be quick about it instead.
Quicker than a flash, Captain.
As a good lad. Weyland's a good egg. Big egg, too. Takes lots of eggs to fill this one up.
Eggs for the Eggman.
Go on, up with you. Enough lollygagging with the guests.
Here, traveler, allow me. Me and the lads will have these tucked up in your room. No muss, no fuss.
That's the perk of being keeper here. You get excellent at delegating. And it's a good thing to get off my feet and let them manage for a bit. Helps build character. Well, that was a good breath. Do you think we could manage another? In and out. I can see that your hives have been just as busy as ours. Buzz, 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 busy as bees. And of course, bless you, you came along back here to the inn for a night of tranquil peace and quiet. Well, that's to be found too. Plenty of quiet corners and crannies to be discovered. Keep breathing. Now let's relax those shoulders. Unhinge them from that fine jaw of yours for me. That's better. You're wound up tighter than a snake, ready to strike, you are. Carrying the weight of the world is a tense business for shoulders. So, we're going to gently roll them up and forward. That's right. And now we roll them back and down, down, pulled by strong magnets. Now, elongate your neck and stretch that spine as if a thread is pulling you from the top of your head, pulling gently against the grounding of your shoulders. A silken cord rooted firmly along your neck that pulls gently now to the left, long and glorious as a swan's crest. And your head rolls forward, now slowly back to pull to the right. Tall, elegant, and strong. And now it comes gently back to center. And release. Letting all the tension go out with your breath. And letting your head and neck and shoulders and body find their calm. Keep that breathing going for me, will you? Must be something in the air, I think. Something that comes with the cold. Everyone bundles themselves up and needs things. Meantime, though, we're going to take a break from the needing of the world. And you can come along back with me to the kitchen. Let's have a nice bit of a sit before your slumber, eh? Oh, good, you remember the way. The nose always knows and rarely needs to be reminded. You still have that key to your room, yes? Oh, good. They don't come by us easily. Now, at any time, you just feel free to pull out that key and head for your door. You know your lucky number. When you feel the pull of sleep's drowsy hand, you just take that key, head up to your room and bed, turn the volume of the world back down low, and set sleep back to her work. Our gardener brought us plenty of fresh goodies this afternoon, and just in time with so many way wanderers. It's a lot of hungry bellies. Some may look strange to you, and some may even look familiar within these walls. But you are always safe and well defended. The inn is the last neutral house in the wilds. All respect the contract here and recognize only peace. And besides, it's been a while since Weyland and the rest had a good scrap. Ah, here we are. Soup's up in the kitchen. With so little room at the other inns these days, the pups will always find their way back to the hearth. I hope you like dogs. They're not allowed in during food prep, but I can't guarantee they're not waiting behind that door to rush you for a scrap of cheese. Go on, get back. Come on, let us in. Oh, I know. I'm glad to see you, too. Oh, come here. Yes, tell me all about it. They're the truest hearts in all the worlds combined. What we ever did to deserve dogs, I'll never know. All right, that's enough now. No making out with strangers in my kitchen. Back, you fiends, come on. No. Well, Let them love up on you as much as you're good with. Come on, let us up. Some of us still have work to do. Of course, the inn bustles and bristles with bodies right when I've given Cook the next 3 days off. She's seeing her boy the next town over, and of course there's a new baby in the mix. Dyron's a grandmother 7 times over. Never seen a happier jungle gym in all my life. But it also means a day off isn't exactly off, if you know what I mean. Oh, look. They were good enough to get everything started for us. And the bread is nearly done. Proof of the love of the divine. Ah, Kath. Can you smell that? Damn fine set of loaves you put in. How goes the scrubbing?
It's coming, but that jungle gym of yours is going to hear it from me when she gets back from that grandson of hers, leaving me with the sugar all boiled over and caramelized into 12 different pans. How does anyone use 12 pans for one cake, huh?
I don't know, but after one bite of that cake, she can make it a baker's dozen and I'd still be singing her praises. Come on, I'll roll up my sleeves and switch with you for a bit. I'm no stranger to burnt sugar, nothing a bit of chainmail, Castile soap, and hot water can't fix.
You do that. Roll up your sleeves and whistle while you work for all I care. Cook's still getting a piece of my mind.
As long as you can duck quick enough, and I get a last piece of the cake first. Kath, this is one of our weary wayfarers come back to us tonight.
Well, hello. Did this one have the manners to offer you something hot to drink yet?
She's a dreadful flirt and a professional grump. There, I said it. I'm off to those pans. Don't let her bully you about, and not too many tidbits for the dogs.
Wash your hands first, right over there. Give them a good, soothing scrub. Oh. Now tell me that's not a fine loaf. Smells perfect. There's a steaming mug next to you on the shelf there. It's good and hot and just what you ordered in the wee small hours. We'll just fluff that cushion there and this one here. There you are. No knocking your noggin. And mind those herbs hanging there. There's no better smell than garden sage drying in the kitchen window. See, we've already used half the lavender you hung up last time. Thanks for that help. We go through it quick. Sachets under the pillow to keep your dreams sweet. Teas for those who take it. And of course, a good amount set aside for shortbread this time of year. Yes, there's a bite if it's to your taste, and if not, my back's already turned, so feelings won't be hurt. Yes, lavender is right in spring, but sage gives all year round. Take it in. Inhale. Exhale. A holy smell. Heaven sent. The protective warmth of kitchens across time. From open fires to braziers to hearth to oven to stovetop to microwave and all the way back to sacred fire again. Sage has seen us through it all. One of the earliest compacts made. Sage bundles have been burned across continents, across centuries, gracing crock pots over the globe as the secret ingredient since we first figured out flavor. The carnivores know it puts the saucy into a sausage, and the vegetarians can't have autumn squash roast without it. Its spell is strongest around the autumn when it fills the feasting tables with its woodsy aroma. It graces many stuffings and turkeys to this day, but it also charms breakfast tables across the globe and will be a welcome ward against the chill in our soup tonight. Meantime, you can never have too much garlic, huh? And that's a beefy boy of a tomato. Come here. The communion with white sage among our indigenous guests is truly an inspiration. Used in ceremonies to cleanse, purify, and protect, native stewardship with the herb is a blessing and a joyful reminder of guardianship and partnership with all our relatives, not just the two-footed ones when it's convenient. It is a great honor to receive white sage from our native siblings when gifted to us with great ceremony as we are guided. When not given as such, garden sage is an excellent reminder of good fortune and perennial life, imbued with the reverence of resurrection and the holy praises of every church kitchen through the dark and Middle Ages. Red sage is used in traditional Chinese medicine to invigorate the blood and vitalize the qi, quickening the connection to the soul. And it makes a good tea. Sage was one of the ingredients in the Four Thieves vinegar to keep the plague at bay, and thieves' oil became the treasured prize of night guilds across Europe, keeping light-fingered rapscallions safe from old Peter Pestilence, no matter which doors he chooses to darken. Sage has perfumed many a tavern as the natural incense that wafts from the good soup bubbling in a pot. Add it to celery, carrots, onion, good garlic, thyme, a bit of chili for kick, a dash of soy, maybe another dash of soy, a sprig of hope, and don't forget to pop in a forgotten dream to keep it nice and salty. Not too salty, don't worry. Just a bit of umami for depth of flavor. Speaking of flavor, looks like you carry a bit of spice with you wherever you go, huh? Just a smack of something different to the mix? No, don't look at me like that. I may only be a Potswife, keeping this kitchen shipshape and to cook's good standards, but I've been making soup longer than you've been alive, and I can tell. You're a spicy one, aren't you? You bring a bit of oomph to the broth, don't you? Now, you know this doesn't need it, but it could use a bit of something to balance out the broth. Would you like to add just a dash? We don't need more from you than you're willing to give. But if you're able to give something, perhaps something small and bitter you foraged along the way this week, something tart you don't need or really want, that's left a taste in your mouth, let's slip that in to help you rest easier. A bit of umami to balance out the broth and tantalize the taste buds. Oh, what a lovely little bag, a treasure, stitched carefully and mended many times. I can see why you keep it close to your heart. A fine place to keep and carry the little things we pick up along the way. But it's all right to sprinkle it in now. You don't need to carry it with you any longer. I'll leave it to you. Smell that? Good. Now, taste. What do you think? I think so too. Now, low and slow. Just needs a bit of time for the percolator. There's plenty of ale up front to keep him from tearing the place down. And that means there's a minute for a hunk of hot bread and a bit of good cheese while we wait. Couple of apples here if you want. Help yourself. Oh, that is heaven. Simple things shared in front of a warm fire with good company. A moment, please. Ma'am, soup's ready. Don't forget the bread and that aged Stilton from the cheese cellar. Might as well make sure to bring out some of the good herb butter, too, while you're down there.
Better to go with the Cotswold, I think. Not everyone can stomach Stilton. Blue cheese is an acquired taste. And you best get these dogs out of here before Cook gets back, or we both know we'll be deep cleaning for the rest of the week.
Well, what Cook doesn't know won't kill her. And just you try looking into all those big brown eyes and say no. Impossible. Was that a bit of a doze taking its time with you, huh? Then that soup's done its bit and warmed you through. If this is where we part for the night, then it was good meeting you, and you can slumber well, knowing that while you sleep here, your rest is treasured. The warmth you feel will stay within you all night, no matter the dreams that find you. The key will let you in whenever you like. May sleep wrap you in comfort, bearing dreams full of purpose, wonder, and delight. Well, my company must be good for something for you to linger a bit longer. Thanks for staying a while for a good yarn in the wee hours. There lived alone one winter a hunter, his wife, and their only child, a little boy of 4 years. Deep snow covered the ground, and the game was scarce. One day the hunter discovered the track of buffalo and followed it, but he failed to overtake the animal. Late at night he returned to his teepee and, there before entering, stopped to scrape the snow from his moccasins. But as he stood outside in the snow, he heard his little boy crying from hunger within the tent, and the voice of his wife trying to comfort him. "Don't cry, my son," she said. "Perhaps your father has killed a buffalo. That may be why he is late in coming home." Resolutely, the man turned back into the night and prayed for help as he resumed his hunting. Just before dawn, he came upon other buffalo tracks and followed them. Suddenly, a wolf ran up to him and said, "My son, why are you weeping?" "I am in sore need. My wife and child are starving."
"Hide behind these bushes here," said the wolf, "and use my bow and arrows. They are blessed with the speed of all the winds and will not miss their target. I will drive the buffalo toward you, but be sure to use this bow and quiver of arrows I give you now, not your own."
The wolf disappeared, and the hunter examined the bow that had been given to him. It was much smaller than his own, and seemingly much inferior. Yet he remembered the wolf's instructions, and when he heard it, driving the buffalo toward him, he took up the small bow and shot 6 animals, one after another. When the 7th and last buffalo approached him, however, he took up his own bow and shot. The animal escaped. Now the wolf returned.
"What luck did you have?"
It said. "I killed 6 with your bow and arrows. For the last one I used my own bow, and it escaped."
"I warned you not to use it,"
the wolf said.
"However, we have meat enough."
Together they divided the hunt, and at the wolf's request the hunter set aside portions of 2 buffalo for his companions, children, and packmates. He then carried as much meat as he could hold on his back to his starving wife and child. That same evening, after they had satisfied their hunger, They dismantled their tent and moved to where the hunt had taken place. There the wolf joined them with all its family and lingered fearlessly around their camp. The woman fed the animals with choice cuts of meat until they tamed each other's hearts. They would even allow her to harness travois to their backs and learn to pull sleds with the joy of the good race across fresh powdered snow. Thereafter, they always remained with the people and became dogs. Yes, that's a good boy. A sweet lad he is. We become what we feed and what feeds us in turn. A bit of cheese for good boys, huh? And a drop more for the teller of old tales. That one was a Cree legend gifted to me by one of our guests many years ago. It's best told in front of a fire to a good friend with a good toast. May we and all our relatives live free from hunger no matter the face he wears today. And so it is. There's always hunger. Even when the body is full of bread and cheese and good apple, there will always be 1,000 clutching claws, seen and unseen, with the cold desolation of winter. How well can we stand together against it? How can we share the hunt among our chosen family? How can we trust their bow? How can we remember our respect for all our neighbors, even the four-footed ones? Even when they look pretty far from fearsome wolves, like this fluffy little muffin chop right here. Yes, the heart of a wolf and the body of a bunny. Sometimes that's how it goes too.
Well said, Kath. We can't judge a dog by his tail, can we?
Not when the tail's that tall. Pot's all done?
Aye, small thanks to you. Well, Pilgrim, I see Kath's tale has done its work. No sleep for the wicked, nor rest for the decent.
Sleep well, traveler, and rest easy, knowing hunger does not come for us tonight. Thank you for the garden sage.
Your room awaits with freshly cleaned sheets and a thick, fluffy quilt you can dive right into, head first. You have the key and know the way. If you're still beyond rest and simply want to wander a while, there are more rooms here than we have stories for, and that key opens the door to many of them. If you'd care for a companion along the way, I'm sure there's a furry someone here who will do anything for a bit of cheese. The ones we feed, we tame. So choose with your heart if you decide to walk with wolves tonight, for they tame us in return. It was good to see you again, Pilgrim. Rest easy, knowing your burdens are lighter. Your soul is nourished with good soup, and you are not alone, for a pack of wolves walks within you, no matter where you roam, far beyond the inn at the end of things. Good night. You've been listening to The Inn at the End of Things, an Acorn Arts and Entertainment production. Tonight's tale featured performances by Rachel Biber as Kath the Potswife, Michael Allen Herman as Weyland the bartender, and Luna Alexander as the innkeeper. This episode was written by Luna Alexander, with production and technical support from Josie Eli Herman, Michael Allen Herman, and John Tuma. As our evening draws to a close, we'd like to pause here within our Hall of Patrons to thank the many wanderers, voyageurs, and fellow night owls who keep our hearth fires burning long into the night. Whether you're a member of our Patreon community or have donated independently, we salute you and say thanks. We couldn't do it without your support. This week's list of hallowed heroes includes many thanks to Chris Hoffman-Kraske, Ruth Needler, Ryan Leduc, Amanda Logston, Sarah McNitt, Joanna Karina Palaska, Jason Such, Patricia Tuma, John Stanford. May your generosity be returned threefold wherever the road finds you. Good night.